Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm back creating in my A5 notebook. This is a notebook from Felicity Jane, very similar to the standard traveler's notebook inserts, but this is A5 size, so it's a little bit bigger. And I pulled one of these out and have been documenting just special moments for me. So accomplishments of mine, things that I enjoy, maybe things that I see along the way that I think are pretty or fun or inspired by, and just kind of an informal project. So I'm documenting like creative teams I've been on, my gym journey, going back to the gym. So this is going to be photos that are maybe not super fancy posed photos, just random things are going to go in this notebook. It's okay if things get messed up. I had some bleed through. This is a very loose, informal project for me. And so I did have some bleed through from the distress inks that I'd used before. So that's okay. I'm just going to skip this. I'm going to attach these two pages together. That way the bleed through isn't an issue here and I can move along with this project. So today's layout was inspired by the sketch from Felicity Jane for this month. There is a blog post. I will have everything linked down below. I'll put the sketch here in the video so you can take a look at that. And so each month we have a sketch challenge, and a group of us are challenged to take the kit for that month and kind of create based off that sketch that one of us on the team creates. So you can head on over to the blog post and see what the other ladies are creating based off that sketch. So I'm going to be using that as my inspiration for the layout today. And so it was using these envelopes from the Madison collection. And so I kind of was looking at those, and then looking at the stamp set that comes from with Madison has these really great sentiments that are very positive sentiments like "you are enough," "I can do this," "learning to love me more." So just really good positivity. And so I thought it fit perfect with this project that I've been working on. And so I'm going to tuck some of these sentiments into these envelopes just as reminders for myself. The photo that I'm documenting here is one that I took back around Thanksgiving time. I've been going to the gym like crazy on this whole expedition to get healthy, and I'm finally back into a size 6. So here's a picture of me in the dressing rooms trying on some new jeans. Now I want to preface this by saying it is not about the number on the scale. It's not about the number on your clothes or what size you are. It's wherever you feel comfortable, where you're happy with your own body. That's going to be different for everybody. For me, this is where I'm most comfortable, is in this spot here. And so I just wanted to document that moment of finally being able to get to that point. And the colors in this photo I was able to kind of tweak because it's at Target, and so the pinks and reds and stuff are edited to kind of match with the colors in the Madison collection. So it's all going to work together. But I have loved the Madison collection so much that I'm very limited on ephemera because I've used it so much. So I've pulled out some more pieces from the Rebecca collection, like these vellum hearts, and I'm going to mix those in here together. It's going to be a fairly simple spread. I've pulled out a couple of other things that I want to use. So let me go ahead and put you on fast forward, and we'll put this layout together. All right, so I've pulled out this little ruffly border stamp from the Jamie stamp set. And the sketch had a little bit of a border around the layout. Now the sketch was originally set up for a 12 by 12 layout, but I'm adjusting it for this A5 notebook. And sketches can either be recreated, item for item, or just use it as inspiration. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm going to create a border. I'm going to create a little bit of a grid with my envelopes, some of the circular elements, things like that, but I'm not going to copy it exactly. I'm just kind of using it as a jumping off point. So again, this project is super loose and messy in this notebook, so I'm not being very particular when I'm stamping this down. There's some missed areas. That's okay. I'm not going to stress about it. I want this to just be a notebook where I can kind of play and explore and have fun, and it's just photos for me and not really anything else. So the Jenny stamp set has little squiggles and things that you can add to create kind of like a faux stitching effect. And so I'm just going to go in and add this into places where there was some oops stamping, and I made some more oops stamping with my messy acrylic block, but that's okay. I'm not going to scrap it. I can just go in with a white gel pen, cover it up, and normally nobody would even know except all of you watching this video. But again, not a big deal to fix. However, it is going to be predominantly white in the background, so I did need to, cover up somehow, or it's going to be very obvious that I messed up my background. But Moving on, I can start laying out my grid here. Now the sketch I think has like 2 or 3 envelopes and then 3 other little squares, but again, because I'm sizing it down for this A5 notebook, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm using 3 of the envelopes, and then my photo is going to be the 4th part of that grid there. I did kind of measure out the envelopes and sized my photo to be similar to the envelope sizes. That way everything would kind of look, you know, like it fits right. And I am using a T-ruler to make sure everything is lined up. With a grid like this, I want to make sure nothing is super crooked. I think I get them a little wonky, but you know, that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. So I'm glad that I used these envelopes. I think I only have maybe 1 or 2 left over after the projects I've done. I really thought I was gonna hoard these because they were super adorable and cute, but I made a point to use them this month. I think this is the most I've ever used an entire collection from Felicity Jane. I don't know if it was a matter of having a little bit more time, meeting my 2020 goal of being on task and sticking with it. I don't know, but I tore apart the kit this month. For my photo here, I am adding a little vellum banner. I will have all the collections listed down below that I used. I think that maybe it's Megan or Elizabeth, and then I used one of those tiny paper clips on that vellum banner just to hold it on there. And then I pulled out some of the Brie chipboard flares. These are sold out. I ordered a whole bunch of them when they had the sale during the summertime. I love those little circular flare pieces, and they pull in the little circular embellishment that was on the sketch. Now for my little notes going in my envelopes, I could have just used a plain white paper. However, I'm kind of battling with the different shades of white. The envelopes are a different white than the notebook paper, which is a different white than my photo, which is a different white than the chipboard and the ephemera. So I decided to pull out this black and white patterned paper. It has little crosses on it, and use that. The pattern doesn't really interfere with my stamping, and I believe it's from the Rebecca collection. So I will be stamping on those. And then, like I said, I pulled out those vellum hearts, again from the Rebecca collection, I believe, and that's just going to bring in a little bit more color. There were these little, like, 3 little droplets on the sketch, and so this is my take on that. I'm going to run them through my Xyron sticker maker. That way it applies adhesive to the entire backside. That way you can't see the adhesive. So it's going to turn these into little stickers. So I'm just going to rub down the plastic on the front. This picks up any extra adhesive. Pull off the front sheet, and then now my little vellum hearts are stickers, and they are super easy to just stick down. So these, again, were from the Rebecca collection, but the colors are very similar to the Madison collection, and there was little pops of red that pulls in the red from my photo. I thought that the yellow kind of pulled in the wood veneer pieces. Those wood veneer bows are from the Henley collection. Fun little fact, Henley was the very first collection I ever purchased from Illustrated Faith. I believe that was last year. Those wood veneer pieces are sold out, but obviously I've had them for over a year sitting in my stash. I need to use them. So that was one good thing about running out of some of the ephemera from Madison, was I was able to pull out stuff from my stash and bust through it and use it. Like these epoxy hearts. These are from Harper. Again, pulling out reds and oranges and pinks, and just adding a little more sprinkle of hearts. Now the sketch didn't really have any hearts on it, but these were what I had on hand in the colors that I was working with, and so we're gonna make it work. We're gonna use them up. I'm trying to keep the bulk to a minimum in this notebook. I don't want to run into an issue where I need to deconstruct it and ring bind it if I can avoid it. So I'm trying to stick to the things that are pretty flat. So now I can go in and stamp my little positive sentiments here. So I picked "You Are Enough," and I decided to add, there's these little trio of hearts in the Jenny stamp set. And so I'm going to bring in a little bit more red. I felt like I had that big red heart and a little bit of red in my photo, but I needed some more red in this spread. So this is where I'm going to bring that in. And that's just something that I do. I kind of, as I'm working step back, look at it from, sometimes look up into my camera, look at the spread and see what my color balance is and if I need to bring in more or less of a color that I've been using. And stamping is a great way to do that. You can use colored inks to bring in a little bit more of that color into areas that you need it to be, especially if you don't have more embellishments in a certain color. Stamping is a great way to make up for that. So I added that to both of these ones that have the stamped sentiments on it, and then that third one has, I typed out my journaling and just kept it very, very simple. So learning to love me more and you are enough. Stick those down. I'm just adding a little bit of adhesive, and then again, this was a die cut piece that was from a past collection that was just sitting in my stash. For the wood veneer, I do like to use liquid adhesive. I find that that works the best, and then I just set a stamp block on top of it while it dries, and that will just make sure that it stays on there. I'm going to apply another Brie chipboard flare over here, a little note to self. Thought that worked perfect with those little sentiments. I'm going to finish off with a date stamp over on the edge here, and that is going to be it for the layout today. So be sure to head on over to the Felicity Jane blog to see how everybody else interpreted this sketch and some more details about this project. All the products will be linked down in the description box for you guys. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.